Imagine this. The lights of the NFL stadium still burning bright after a hard-fought game. Cameras flashing, fans chanting. And Travis Hunter, one of the league's rising stars, walking off the field with the swagger of a man who thinks he has it all. But what if we told you that behind that confident smile and highlight reels lies a storm he never saw coming? What if the biggest play of his life wasn't on the field, but in his own home? Sources close to the star say that Hunter's picture-perfect marriage has just been rocked by a scandal so explosive. Fans can barely wrap their heads around it. We're talking whispers of betrayal, shocking late-night texts, and a teammate who may have crossed the ultimate line. That's right, Travis Hunter, the golden boy of the game, may have just been blindsided by his own wife's secret affair with someone he trusted inside the locker room. Fans are already calling it one of the most jaw-dropping betrayals in sports history, with social media exploding in disbelief. Could it really be true? Was this betrayal happening right under his nose all along? Stay tuned, because the truth will shake not just Hunter's marriage, but the entire NFL. The story begins on what should have been an ordinary Sunday night. The kind of night when Travis Hunter should have been celebrated as a hero for his performance on the field. The stadium roared his name, fans chanted, and his teammates slapped his back in victory. But behind the smiles and cameras, whispers had already started making their way through the locker room. A certain teammate was acting strangely, glancing at his phone, avoiding eye contact with Travis, and brushing off conversations as though carrying a heavy secret. And while Travis showered, dressed, and prepared to greet his family, a storm was brewing that would change everything he thought he knew about loyalty, love, and trust. Later that night, Travis walked out of the tunnel to find his wife waiting. The perfect picture of support as she embraced him tightly. The cameras captured the hug. Fans swooned at the couple's display of affection. And for a moment, it seemed like all was perfect. But insiders would later reveal that this very moment was layered with guilt and tension. Because hidden behind that smile, his wife was carrying the weight of a secret that could shatter their world days later. The first signs of trouble surfaced. Social media sleuths who never miss a beat noticed that Travis's wife had suddenly stopped posting supportive captions about his games. The usual heart emojis and celebratory photos were gone, replaced with vague, cryptic messages about loyalty being tested and truth always coming to light. Fans immediately began speculating, and threads on Reddit and Twitter blew up with theories. Was there trouble in paradise? Had Travis done something wrong? Or was his wife the one hiding something? Things escalated when a blurry photo surfaced of his wife leaving a late-night restaurant with someone who appeared to be a man from Travis's own team. The image was grainy, the angle imperfect. But the body language was undeniable, her leaning close. The man shielding her from the paparazzi flash, his hand almost brushing against hers. Fans lost their minds, debating whether this was a harmless dinner between friends or the smoking gun of an affair. Sources close to the couple say Travis initially brushed off the rumors, confident in his marriage and determined not to let gossip distract him. But that confidence cracked when he began noticing odd behavior at home. His wife grew distant, often glued to her phone late at night, quickly flipping the screen when he walked into the room. She claimed it was work emails or messages from family. But her nervous laughter and defensive tone only fueled his suspicions. According to insiders, one night Travis finally confronted her, his voice calm but eyes filled with doubt. "Why are you acting so different lately?" he asked, leaning against the kitchen counter as she avoided his gaze. She laughed it off, saying he was imagining things, that the stress of the season was making him paranoid. But as she spoke, her phone buzzed on the counter. Lighting up with a name, Travis recognized immediately one of his teammates, a man he considered not just a colleague, but a brother on the field. The silence in that kitchen was deafening. Travis stared at the screen, his chest tightening as his wife's hand darted out to snatch the phone before he could pick it up. "It's not what you think," she whispered. But the damage was already done. The next morning, the locker room was buzzing with tension. Travis walked in, his expression unreadable, while his so-called friend avoided his eyes. The camaraderie that once defined the team was suddenly fractured, with players whispering behind their hands, wondering if the rumors were true. Fans watching from the outside had no idea the drama unfolding behind closed doors. But those inside the circle knew something explosive was about to erupt as days turned into weeks. The situation spiraled further. Travis's wife continued to deny any wrongdoing, insisting that her relationship with the teammate was purely platonic. Nothing more than innocent conversations taken out of context. But then came the bombshell screenshots leaked to a gossip page, showing flirty messages allegedly exchanged between the two. Phrases like, "can't wait to see you again," and "last night was unforgettable" sent shockwaves through the fan base. Whether real or fabricated, the screenshots spread like wildfire. And suddenly Travis's personal life was public property. Friends of the couple revealed that arguments in their home grew louder, more heated. One night, neighbors reportedly heard raised voices and slamming doors, with Travis demanding the truth and his wife sobbing uncontrollably. "Just tell me if it's true," he begged, his voice breaking under the weight of betrayal. But she only shook her head, repeating that he didn't understand, that things weren't as simple as they seemed. Meanwhile, the alleged teammate at the center of the scandal began facing his own backlash. Fans flooded his social media with angry comments, calling him a traitor, a backstabber, someone who destroyed the trust of not just a friend, but an entire team. The pressure mounted, and he finally deleted his accounts, a move that only fueled suspicion further. Inside the NFL community, whispers grew louder. Analysts debated the impact of personal drama on team performance, while insiders speculated whether this scandal could fracture the locker room beyond repair. The franchise, desperate to control the narrative, issued vague statements about respecting players' privacy and focusing on the season, but the damage had already been done. And yet, just when fans thought the situation couldn't get messier, another twist emerged. A source close to Travis's wife claimed she had been planning to come clean all along, but not in the way everyone expected. According to this source, she had been keeping journals detailed accounts of her feelings, her frustrations, and the secrets she had been carrying. Whispers suggest these journals contained revelations not only about her alleged affair, but also shocking truths about Travis himself. Truths that could flip the entire narrative on its head. Fans were stunned, left questioning everything they thought they knew. Was Travis the innocent victim of betrayal? Or was there more to the story than met the eye? What secrets could possibly be hidden in those journals? And why was his wife so determined to protect them? The tension reached its peak when Travis reportedly discovered one of the journals tucked away in a drawer. He flipped through the pages, his hands trembling as he read the words scribbled in ink. Insiders claim he looked pale, devastated, as if the ground beneath him had been ripped away. But what exactly did he read? That, dear viewers, is where things take a turn even more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. Travis sat in the dim glow of a bedside lamp, his eyes scanning line after line of his wife's journal. Every sentence felt like a knife, every word drenched with emotions he hadn't realized she'd been carrying. It started innocently in effenteries about the stress of being a football wife, the endless travel, the loneliness when he was on the road. But then the tone shifted, darker, filled with anger and longing. She wrote about feeling invisible, about nights when Travis was too consumed by the game to even notice she was crying in the next room. And then came the name, the same teammate who had been avoiding his gaze in the locker room. The journal didn't spell out the details, but the implication was chilling. Phrases like, "he listens to me when no one else does," and "with him I feel seen," leaped off the page. Travis slammed the journal shut, his chest heaving as the betrayal settled into his bones. The next morning, Travis confronted her again, this time with the journal in his hand. His voice cracked with rage. "So this is what it is. You needed someone to see you, and you chose him. Someone I trust with my life on the field." She froze, her eyes wide, the color draining from her face. "I never meant for it to happen like this," she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You were always gone, always focused on football. And I just needed someone to talk to, to talk to. Travis shot back, his voice echoing through the house. Is that what you call sneaking around secret dinners and these words in your journal? You betrayed me and you betrayed us. Betrayed me and you betrayed us. Neighbors would later say they heard the shouting that day. The sound of glass shattering as Travis hurled the journal across the room. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided as her cries echoed through the walls. Meanwhile, the alleged teammate at the center of the storm was facing his own reckoning. Inside the locker room, teammates whispered and pointed, some openly refusing to sit near him. One insider revealed that a near fight broke out between him and another player who accused him of destroying not just Travis's marriage, but the brotherhood of the team. We're supposed to be family, the player reportedly shouted. And you go behind his back like this? You disgust me. Social media exploded once again when a new leak surfaced. A blurry video allegedly showing Travis's wife and the teammate entering a hotel together. Though the video was grainy and shot from a distance, fans were convinced. Hashtags like BetrayalGate and Hunter Drama began trending, and fans flooded comment sections with opinions. Some defended her, saying she was only human and lonely. Others took Travis's side, branding her a traitor and calling for the teammate to be kicked off the team. The scandal wasn't just personal anymore. It had become a national spectacle. Sports shows debated it endlessly, with analysts discussing how such a betrayal could affect team chemistry. One commentator even declared, "This isn't just about football anymore. This is about trust, loyalty, and betrayal at the deepest level." But the drama took another shocking twist when Travis's wife sat him down one evening and confessed something that stunned him to his core. "I'm not going to lie to you anymore," she said, her voice trembling. "Yes, I was close to him, closer than I should have been. But you need to understand it wasn't just about him. It was about us. I felt like you stopped being my partner. I didn't know how else to feel alive." Travis stared at her, his hands shaking, his world collapsing. "So you're blaming me for this?" he asked, his voice hollow. "You're saying this is my fault?" She buried her face in her hands, sobbing. "I'm saying I was lost and he was there. I didn't mean for it to happen. I still love you." The words "I still love you" rang in Travis's ears like a cruel joke. Love didn't look like betrayal. Love didn't feel like this. And yet in some corner of his heart, he still wanted to believe her. To hold on to the family they had built, as if the drama wasn't enough, family members soon got involved. Her parents reportedly reached out to Travis, begging him not to end the marriage and insisting their daughter had simply made a mistake. His parents, on the other hand, were furious, urging him to walk away and protect his dignity. "She disrespected you in the worst way," his father allegedly said. "If you take her back, you'll never be able to look at yourself the same." The family was divided. The fans were divided, and even the team was divided. Some teammates urged Travis to focus on football and ignore the noise, while others quietly admitted they would never trust the alleged teammate again. And just when everyone thought the storm had reached its peak, another curveball hit. An anonymous source leaked an audio recording of what sounded like a heated phone conversation between Travis's wife and the teammate. In the recording, her voice could be heard saying, "We can't keep doing this. He's starting to suspect," while his voice responded, "Don't worry, he'll never find out. We've come this far." The recording spread like wildfire, replayed on sports radio, gossip blogs, and YouTube channels across the country. Fans were horrified, disgusted, and glued to every new update. "This is worse than a reality show," one fan tweeted. "This is real life, and it's absolutely insane." Travis, meanwhile, was reaching his breaking point. Insiders revealed he threw himself into training, spending hours at the facility just to avoid being home. But no matter how hard he worked, he couldn't escape the whispers, the gossip, the betrayal that followed him everywhere. Then came the shocking moment that set the stage for an even bigger explosion. During a tense team practice, Travis and the alleged teammate finally clashed face to face. According to eyewitnesses, Travis charged at him after a hard play, shoving him to the ground and shouting, "You think you can take my family too?" Coaches and teammates rushed in to separate them, but the damage was done. The locker room was officially at war. Fans couldn't believe the reports, and yet they ate up every detail. Sports networks replayed the confrontation over and over, dissecting every second. "This is no longer about football," one analyst declared. "This is personal, and it's tearing the team apart." The situation had escalated beyond imagination. But the most shocking revelations were still to come. Because hidden within those journals, the ones Travis hadn't fully read, were secrets that would change the entire story once again. And on one fateful night, alone in the house, Travis opened the drawer and pulled out the remaining journals. Determined to finally uncover the truth his wife had been hiding all along. The house was silent that night, the kind of silence that makes every creak of the floorboard feel like thunder. Travis sat alone at the edge of the bed, the unopened journals stacked beside him like a tower of secrets waiting to collapse. He hesitated for a moment, his hands trembling as if some part of him already knew what he was about to discover. Then, with a deep breath, he opened the first one and began to read. The entries were raw, vulnerable, and laced with pain. His wife had poured out feelings of loneliness, resentment, and even envy. She wrote about how fans adored him, how teammates respected him. But at home, she often felt invisible, like a shadow in the background of his spotlight. And while some passages made him ache with guilt, others made his blood boil. One page in particular stood out. She had written about nights when the teammate would be there for her in ways Travis never was. She described secret meets, conversations that stretched into the early morning, and the dangerous thrill of doing something forbidden. "With him, I felt like I mattered again," she scribbled. "He reminded me I was alive." Travis's heart pounded as he flipped to the next entry, only to find something even more shocking. She hinted at another betrayal, one that had nothing to do with romance. She claimed that Travis's teammate had been feeding her inside information about the team details about plays, strategies, and locker room dynamics. "He tells me things Travis would never share," she wrote. "Sometimes I feel like I know more about the game than Travis does himself." This wasn't just about his marriage anymore. This was about loyalty to the game, to the brotherhood, to the very thing Travis had dedicated his life to. If the teammate had truly crossed that line, it meant the betrayal went far deeper than anyone had imagined. The next day, Travis confronted his wife once more, slamming the journal down on the kitchen table. "So now he's not just stealing my wife, he's stealing my team," he demanded, his voice breaking. She sobbed, insisting that she never asked for the information, that she didn't even realize how serious it was. "I just wanted to feel close to someone," she cried. "I never thought about how it would hurt you this way." But Travis was done with excuses. He stormed out of the house, his mind racing with fury and betrayal. He drove aimlessly for hours before finally pulling into the empty parking lot of the stadium. The very place that once felt like a sanctuary but now felt poisoned by deceit. He sat there, staring at the field, wondering how everything had unraveled so quickly. Meanwhile, rumors of the journals began leaking to the press. Somehow, word got out that Travis had discovered written evidence of both emotional and professional betrayal. Reporters swarmed the practice facility. Fans demanded answers, and the scandal exploded into a full-blown circus. In the locker room, tensions were unbearable. Players avoided eye contact, conversations hushed the moment Travis walked in. The alleged teammate tried to act normal, but his forced smiles only fueled suspicion. One insider revealed that several players approached management, demanding action. "We can't play like this," one said. "The team is crumbling," as if the situation couldn't spiral further. Another twist arrived in the form of a leaked voicemail. Allegedly, it was a message from the teammate to Travis's wife, his voice low and urgent. "We need to stop talking for a while," he said. "He's starting to figure everything out. But you know how I feel about you." This isn't over. Fans went wild. Message boards lit up with theories, some saying the voicemail confirmed everything, others claiming it was doctored. Still, the damage was undeniable. Sponsors began pulling away from the teammate, fearing the negative press. Commentators speculated that his career might be over before the season even ended. We're heartbroken, furious, and captivated all at once. This is the end, one headline read. Travis Hunter finally walks away. But even as the marriage appeared doomed, the saga was far from over. Because the teammate, desperate to salvage his career, requested a sit-down with Travis. According to insiders, he begged for forgiveness, swearing on his life that nothing physical had ever happened. "I made a mistake getting close to her," he reportedly said, his voice shaking. "But I never touched her. Please believe me." Travis, stone-faced, stared at him for a long time before replying. "Whether you touched her or not, you broke the code. You don't come between a man and his family. We're done." With that, he stood up and walked out, leaving his teammate in tears. The fallout was immense. The teammate was quietly benched, sponsors pulled out, and his reputation was left in ruins. Travis, meanwhile, found himself hailed as both a victim and a cautionary tale. Fans praised his strength even as they worried about the toll it was taking on him mentally and emotionally. And then, in one final twist, his wife released a public statement of her own. In it, she admitted to emotional betrayal, but insisted she never physically cheated. She begged for forgiveness, not just from Travis, but from fans, claiming she had let the pressure of fame and loneliness push her into terrible decisions. "I still love my husband," she wrote, "and I hope one day he can find it in his heart to forgive me." But the statement only divided fans further. Some felt pity, while others blasted her for playing the victim. "Too little, too late." One comment read, "She had her chance and she blew it," as the dust settled. One thing became clear: the scandal had changed everyone involved forever. Travis's image, once untouchable, was now tied to one of the most shocking betrayals in sports history. His wife's reputation was shattered, and his teammate's career hung by a thread. The family was left divided, fans were left stunned, and the NFL was left scrambling to contain the fallout. And while the cameras eventually turned to new stories and new scandals, the shadow of betrayal lingered, leaving everyone to wonder, could Travis ever truly move on? Or would this affair define him for the rest of his life? And so, after weeks of whispers, explosive leaks, and heart-stopping twists, the Travis Hunter saga has left fans reeling. What began as a simple rumor of late-night texts spiraled into one of the most shocking scandals the NFL has ever seen. Betrayal, accusations, hidden journals, secret voicemails, and a marriage hanging by a thread had everything fans never thought they'd witness off the field. The question now is, where does Travis go from here? Does he sign the divorce papers and finally close the door on the woman who broke his heart? Or does he take her back and try to rebuild what so many believe is already destroyed? Can he ever trust the teammate who crossed the ultimate line? Or has that bond been shattered forever? And what about the whispers of his own past will? Those secrets come to light or remain buried in the shadows. Fans are divided, the family is fractured, and the future of everyone involved hangs in uncertainty. But one thing is undeniable: this scandal has captured the world's attention, and no one is looking away. And now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Travis should forgive his wife, or is this betrayal too deep to come back from? Should the teammate ever set foot in the locker room again, or has he lost all respect for good? And most importantly, what do you think Travis's next move should be? Walk away, reconcile, or expose the truth once and for all? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because we're watching everything you say. Don't forget to like this video if you were shocked by the twists. Hit subscribe for more drama-filled updates. And turn on that notification bell so you never miss a single moment of the chaos. This isn't just football anymore. This is betrayal, loyalty, and the kind of drama you can't script except maybe here.